video from Easy Electric series, and today we are going to learn about the extrusion methods. So whenever you finish your sketch in two-dimensional, usually we use the extrusion, which somehow move from two-dimensional to three-dimensional space. So let's to actually start with one example and see how we could use the extrusion. So as usual, we actually comes to the y actually x plane and make the sketch there. So let's to start with the circle. So I put the circle to give 50 diameter enter. So it is actually fully constrained. So now I click on this, and if I right click, here I have the option which is say extrude, somehow extrude that to the 3D. So if you click on that, you see it's actually open these windows for you. You have options. The first one is the selected item. So as you see, I already selected. So you could actually have the profile plane, which is whatever I actually choose. You could be direction could be one side, two side symmetry. So let's to keep one side for now. And also you could actually extend to the object all distance. For now, let's to just keep the just the default. So as you could see, even here, you could actually extrude that in any direction that you want. Now I'm putting that in the positive. You could actually do the same thing. If you just add the negative number, it goes to the opposite direction. But be careful, don't extrude under the negative Z because your 3D printer plate is the Z. You really couldn't go to the negative, right? Just be careful whenever you use that. So as you could see here, you could actually do uh, different actually extrude based of your need. So, but the thing here is whenever you use the extrude, this is actually one object here, but whenever you go more than that, we actually do the same thing that we follow in the two-dimensional. In the even in the extrusion, we should try to make the everything related to each other. So that means we should actually use the constraint to somehow define the relationship between different objects. So we should keep that mindset that we have in two-dimensional. Here we are doing the same. So this actually is one extrude. So let's to actually have a few examples which somehow use these different options that you have here. So let's to actually click on that, maybe go undo. So now let's to make another circle, and this time we use two of them. I actually use the line, put these 80 here. So I put enter, change this line to the construction. So then I actually bring another circle here, smaller one, let to put on 13. So enter, so just be careful, this is still, you are locked, you are a constraint, I should be good. So now, let to actually extrude these two, let to go to the home first. So you could click on this, actually extrude that to any number that you want. Let to keep these one side and let to say maybe 30 actually millimeter. So if I zoom that a little down, I did that 30. So I actually say okay. Okay. So now I want to do the same for this one. So see again, I'm just want to show the extrusion plus the mindset of a design everything constraint in the 3D dimensional too. So also here there is no lock, nothing like that that shows our design in 3D is constrained. But whenever you use the extrusion in the 3D and working in 3D, still try to use the constraint and somehow define the relationship between the different object that you have. So now I extrude this. Now I want to extrude this one. So see, I say extrude. Now I have a two option here. I could say just extrude this 30 millimeter, right? So which is this happen. This is a one thing, but again, I want to back to my mindset. How about use these options that you have and somehow uh, some add some relationship between these two in your design. Again, I'm going to the main concept that we learn in the two-dimensional. Try to somehow define the relationship between different objects. So instead of doing that, just extrude these to 30. So which is you could do that actually. Now I did that. So this is one option. How about do this, which somehow make more a relationship between these two objects. I'm coming here, I say extrude instead of just doing 30 here. I select this object which is true. I come here, I say one sign instead of saying extend type to the distance. I'm actually come and say to the object. So whenever I say object, I should select the object. I say this object. So somehow I'm telling the height of this should be exactly the height of this. So see the difference between the previous one. I just use extrude distance, and now I actually here use the extended type, the object. Why? Because I want to actually define the relationship. I want to show you, keep these mindset that we learn from the two-dimensional, which use the constraint and somehow define the relationship between the all object that you have. Here is the same. So this is a better option to use a object and it's doing the same thing. So that means it's just bring the height to the 30, but somehow I define the relationship between these two and say, okay, this should be same with this height. So now if I back and change one of these, so definitely it should be actually the other one changed. So see, now I'm coming here, maybe this one, I actually right click, say edit features. So I change these 30 to 50, right? So and say enter, see what's happened. So the second one changed too, and that means my design is a solid design because I actually use some features that able to define these two to each other. So the bottom line is follow the mindset that we had in the two-dimensional level, which actually make everything constrained and define relationship between the different object. In that case, you have a solid model and your model able to edit. You are able to edit it without actually breaking your model. So we actually keep that in our mind whenever we are working with this extrusion and also 3D. So let's to have another example. Again, I want to practice the same mindset that I mentioned. So let's to actually have this one. So this is a design. As you see, there is a one holes here, one holes here, and we want to actually have these design. Again, our mindset will be the same. We actually trying to define the relationship between different objects whenever we make them. So let's do that. Let's actually go back here and see if we could make this design. Definitely you need actually the rectangle which you extrude that. Let's do that. Comes here. Go to the rectangle here and center rectangle. Click here and say, I don't know, let's say 30, not 30, let's do 60 by actually 30. So this is actually what we have. So as you could see, it is actually fully constrained at two-dimensional. Now I wanted to have the extrusion. Again, I wanted to design this. I should be extrude that rectangle that we had. So I come home, select the object that I want to extrude and click on the extrude. And let's see how, yeah, here we should select that. So then you could actually go to any size that you want. Let's do, I don't know, 40, let's see 60 and say okay. So then a little zoom that back and put in the center. So we actually got these rectangle that we have here. Now let's think about how we could make these object that you see here. So for sure, as you could see here, this design that you see on the side, so it start definitely from the center of this. Somehow I need to use some features that able to define these object that I have should be start at least in the center of these big cube that we have. So there is actually tools for that. So here you actually comes to the construct, and here we have an item which say mid plane. So that means I'm going to put the mid plane between these two actually side that I have. Let I say mid plane. I need to select the plane between this actually plane and this bottom one. I want to actually put the mid plane. So as you could see, I say okay. So as you could see, it's happened. So I know, okay, what is the exactly middle of this. Again, my mindset is use the construct and define the relationship between any object that I add to my model. Why? In that case, you get editable model. Your model is editable and is a solid model. So now for making this, I could make this on that page that I have. Let's do that. I'm coming. This is actually new. If you want to actually have some sketch on this middle page plane, so comes and select that and say create the sketch. Now I could draw anything on this mid plane that we have. What I want to have, I want to have this circle. If this is a middle of that, I want to have something, the circle connected to the midpoint, right? So again, my mindset is everything should be related. I somehow define the relationship between any object that I'm adding. So let's to have a circle here. So I put a circle here. Let's do 25. So we say enter, so it's not constraint. So now let's do, again, the mindset is use the constraint as long as you could. So I'm coming here, the tangent, this with this one. So it still is not constrained. So it is still blue and it is a pencil. We already know that. So now let's do use the horizontal vertical constraint and do this point vertical to this point. As you could see now it is fully constrained. So now again, I actually have the circle here under this midpoint, which is still related to the other object that you have. Now I should make these shape that you see here, then able to extrude that to up and down, right? So let's to use the line. So I actually bring this line to here and this line to here. So now let's to actually use the tangent again and say tangent this to this, tangent this to this, tangent this to this, tangent this to this, right? So now it looks actually fully constrained. Now I don't need these two, right? If you back here, you see should be these shapes. So the two back here and again use the other tools for trimming. We have modified trim. We actually trim this and trim this one. So as you could see, whenever I make these shape here, I actually did my best to use the constraint. Again, the idea is you should define the relationship between different object that you have on your design. In that case, your model will be editable, will be a solid model as not to broke whenever you edit it. So now let to use the extrude. Now comes here and say, I already turned off the body. Let to turn that on. Say, I want these actually plain be extrude. So now see the options that I have. Instead of the one side, I could say two-sided. Even you could go to the symmetry. So we could do the symmetry. Let's say symmetry, and let's see. I could actually put any way that I want. Okay. So let's do small Let's to say, I don't know, 10 maybe from the both side. 10 is good. It's going to be a little bigger, but it should be fine. So it is 10. I say it should be okay. So as you could see, we actually made this part, which is exactly similar. For now, I don't care about the size. I just want to show you how you could use the extrude and still with the same constraint mindset that we have in the two-dimensional. Now we want to actually make the hole, this hole that you see here. So for doing that, again, you back to the scratch, you say edit it. So bring the other circle here. So let's say 12, enter, it is fully constrained. So now we are going to finish a sketch. So see, still you have that, but you should actually somehow cut that hole. So let's do this. Let's just select the turn off the body, select this one, select this plane, then actually turn on the body. Now that I have that. So now I could say right click. Actually, we have here the extrude. It is much easier to use this one. If I could select again, so yeah, actually it's not. Let to actually do this. Let to just turn off this, select this, and say extrude. So now turn on everything. So see, this is actually again what you could do. So you want to extrude, so just be careful this time. You don't want to extrude. Somehow you want to make hole. You say cut for operation. This is the first thing. So again, you could say two-sided. So which and the distance you could say instead of giving the number, you actually could say to the object. So which object? So these object, and this is the first one. And for a second one, you should actually choose to object. Even you could say all two. So let's just say for this one, just to say all, it goes all the way actually down. So if we say okay, let's to see what's happened and what we have. As you can see, we actually make the holes there. Okay. So far we are good. We actually somehow make some similar things there. So now I'm going to somehow make the hole here. So as you could see, it's actually have a big hole here. So again, I comes here, I select this page, I'm going to have a new sketch. So as you could see, that's the third one. So I need the holes there. I actually make a circle. Maybe, I don't know, 20 should be fine. I make 20 enter, so I have it there. So now I say finish sketch, I have it. So then I could say select this, then I could say extrude. So again, just it is in my mind, I want it to be a constraint. So let's do say one side and say to all. That means it goes all the way down. So it is a all. I'm not sure it's actually goes all the way down. It's not actually goes all the way down because this direction is up. So let's say one side. Let's say one side, not the all. Let's say to an object. So which object? Let's say these actually bottom face that you have. And now it's actually make that, just be careful, this is a cut. You don't want to extrude, somehow you want to cut, you don't want to join anything to that and say okay. So now if you actually back here, you see actually you have that holes and everything actually should be looks fine. So this is actually another example that shows again, in these two examples that we had in this video, I wanted to show you similar with two-dimensional, which we try to sketch and have everything constrained, somehow define the relationship between the different objects using the constraint. Here we follow the same mindset. So whenever you are extruding anything in the 3D, just keep in that mind whenever you make a new object, try to use a constraint and somehow shows the relationship between different objects that you have. So I hope you find this video useful. Thank you for watching this video.